Hello everybody. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Josef Stefanik and I work as a general practitioner. And in my consulting room, I use, of course, classical medicine, but I often use also Bach flower essences. Why? If I were to explain in one sentence um, how do Bach flower essences work or how can they be useful, I would tell they promote change, they help us change. And it is something classical medicines cannot do. And as far as I know, even alternative medicine doesn't offer such tools, maybe apart from homeopathy. How is it possible? If we can demonstrate it on the difference between herbal medicines and Bach flower essences. Herbal medicines are used in a similar way like classical medicines, like for example antidepressants or antibiotics or painkillers. For example, chamomile can be used in inflammatory processes, mint in colics, comfrey in broken legs, for example, or sweet balm to calm down, to reduce nervousness. On the other hand, Bach flower essences deal with individual emotions like impatience, panic, or lack of self-confidence. Uh, Many of my patients often come in a situation that we can call a life crisis. They are stuck in a difficult situation where they cannot proceed, but they cannot find a way out. They may be stuck in a difficult relationship, in a difficult work, and they do not know what to do. And if they are in this stressful situation long enough, even physical problems may appear in them. And imagine such a person that is stuck in such a situation, uh, how could be useful for him, for example, to boost his self-confidence, to help him deal with fear, or to help him to deal with his sensitivity to conflicts, for example, to help him tell no more easily. So instead of staying on a theoretical level, I will show you the effect of Bach flower essences on a few examples. I could speak about many other patients with a similar course, but I think that these 5 cases are sufficient for you to understand how the Bach flower essences can be effective. This is a case of Michelle, a 35-year-old woman, and she came because of terrifying nightmares, where she wakes up terrified and panicky. She works as a secretary and she has quite a comfortable life. She has a nice family, 2 children, and she seems to be satisfied with her present life. And we started to treat her with mimulus and rock-rose as main remedies, and 1 month later she feels much better and her nightmares disappeared. And she continues to take the remedy, and 3 months later she reports that since childhood she has had a dream to become a musician, to do some performances. But the problem was that she has always been paralyzed by stage fright. And now it's surprising she has got an offer to leave her present job and to become an actor. And after a long hesitation, she accepts it. And she must really fight with her stage fright, but 2 years later she is already a professional actor and she has a one-woman show during a theater festival. So her life has changed completely. This is a case of 65 years old man, Paul, and he is chronically ill. He has cardiac problems, and he has to undergo an operation of his hip joint. And after this operation, his heart condition worsens, and he for 1 week stays at the intensive care unit. Then he is transferred to rehabilitation department, but then his condition again gets worse, and he is really despondent because he has no hope that his condition will get better. And 2 months later, he is really desperate, and he is afraid that his heart problem will get worse. And he has always been a fighter, but now he resigned. And the combination of Gorst to boost his hope, Gentian to overcome his doubts, Mimulus for dealing with fear, and White Chestnut for circulating disagreeable thoughts. This combination brings him a fast relief, and a few days later he reports that rehabilitation is going much better, and his heart condition is also good. And this is a case of Denise, 38 years woman. She works as a social worker, and she comes in a state of a total exhaustion because she's overloaded by work, and she has a problem to tell no to her superior who gives her extra work. And the combination of Centauri to be able to tell no and Mimulus to overcome her fear has a great effect. She is much more courageous, and she directly asks her boss to reduce her workload. Then she discovers that there are some deep-rooted problems in their organization, and she feels the need to change the whole organization. So she fights for better work conditions. And her strength and courage inspires her colleagues that they have very similar problems. They are also exhausted. And this example encourages them to fight for their demands too. Martina is 40 years old woman, and she is on maternal leave with her third child, and she is sad because her leave is ending. She has really enjoyed the time with her little daughter, and she knows that such a beautiful time will never come back. And her present problem is pain of small hands and small hand joints, and she's afraid she has a rheumatoid arthritis. And she describes her feeling. She's feeling like an old woman, and she's afraid whether she will be able to work again. And during the consultation, I drop into her water a few drops of honeysuckle, a remedy for feeling sad that something has ended or is ending and never comes back. And 1 minute later, she begins to cry bitterly, and she cries for 10 minutes. After that, she calms down, and she is surprised by the fact that her joint pains are much better, or her joints are much better. And she also becomes much more optimistic about the future. This case demonstrates how the effect of the essences can be fast. And this is a story of small Tina, a 5 years old girl And her life really isn't easy because she was born very prematurely and she suffered a serious life-threatening bleeding into the brain, and her mental capacities are seriously affected, and her mental development corresponds to the level of 2 or 3 years old child, even when she is 5. And apart from it, she has also behavioral problems. She is restless, jealous, overexcited, and there are many conflicts with her parents and siblings, and they have a repetitive pattern. And she gets chestnut butt for this repetitive pattern, vervain for overexcitement, impatience for restlessness, and Holly for jealousy. And her behavior and learning capacity start to improve step by step. And 1 year later, her diagnosis is changed from medium degree mental retardation to mild degree, and she's still improving. And there are also less conflicts with her parents. And 2 years later, she is able to study at a normal school. So, if you are interested in how to use these essences, I have prepared a whole course so you can learn to use the essences on a quite high level, if you like. And because the usage of the essences is quite simple. There are some rules that should be respected, but it's quite easy. And it was the goal of Bach himself. And even laypersons can use them. So if you like to learn more about the essences, so there is a series of videos that will explain details. There will be a video about what are Bach flow essences, a video about Edward Bach's life and work. We will also speak about how the essences are made, how to take them. We will deal with individual essences in detail. And we will also explain how to communicate with patients because the communication is very, very important. And it has a big impact on the result of the therapy. And we will demonstrate case taking directly on real cases. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And in the next video, we will speak about what are Bach flower essences.